Hi, I'm Cheryl. Welcome to my channel, Homeridge Studio. Today I'm super excited to share with you a couple things that I've created for the fall/Halloween time. I have a couple of porch lanterns. I have a hanging porch light and also a small lighted table topper, yeah. Anyway, so consider liking my video and subscribing to my channel. And with all that said, let's go have fun and start crafting with me. The first thing we're going to make is this. It is a lighted porch light, or a hanging porch light. So you need 2 of these pumpkin wreath forms and something for the base. I'm using this piece. I haven't seen these this year, but I had some left over from last year, but they do have these, and if they don't have those, I know probably every single Dollar Tree has these green foam pieces. And you can always just wrap that in burlap. And if you can't find burlap, you can use ribbon. They have this green ribbon. I know they have orange and they have brown and all different kinds of ribbon. Anyway, they have these flowers and some raffia we're going to need also, and these leaf garlands and some beads. One of these hangers, and these zip ties, or you can use pipe cleaners, some lights, and make sure you have batteries. And they have an abundance of different kinds of lights that you can use if you can't find the pumpkin ones. Anyway, you're going to take the wreath forms, both of them, and you're going to bend them. Not all the way together, but halfway. So if you bend both of them halfway, then we can put them together. And I'll show you here. And see, they fit together very nicely. And the bottom somewhat forms a circle. And we're going to attach it onto this wreath, and that is going to be the base. And we're going to use a zip tie. Now you can use floral wire to attach it. I don't recommend hot glue because I don't think metal and wood will stay together real well. You can also use pipe cleaners. And so I'm tying this on 4 times. As you can see, there are 4 zip ties on, or maybe there's 5 actually, but just get it good and tied on there tight so it holds up, so it stays together. And now I'm going to put a couple zip ties on both sides there to hold the wreath forms together. And that's what it looks like. And now the top, don't worry, those will come together. I am just taking the jute twine from the Dollar Tree and I'm tying it around a couple times just to get it to stay. Then I'm going to wrap it around a bazillion times and hot glue here and there so it holds together, and just keep on pushing it down. So now we take the lights and we put it on the inside. We fold them in half, and then I zip tie to the top and then to each side. Now, if I were to do this over again, I would use 2 lights. So you have 4 hanging down from the top to the bottom because it will be lighter, but I didn't have 4. My other ones were broken or they didn't work. So anyway, make sure you have the batteries and make sure they light up before you zip tie them on there. And then I am going to zip tie. First I wrap that around a couple times, and then I'm going to zip tie the wire onto that in case you need to replace the batteries. Now we take the beads, and you can make a beaded garland if you want, but these are from the Dollar Tree. And so tie it to the one end, or tie the one end off, I should say, probably double knot it. And then I take it and tie it to the top. So you'll have to adjust to see how long that you want it. So pick it up and then see how long you want that to hang down. I think mine was about 3 or 4 inches long. The loop of the beaded garland should be at the bottom, hanging down the bottom. So tie it to the top, put a little bit of hot glue up there, and then have the beads hang down at the bottom with the loop. Because now here, I hope that makes sense to you guys. Here, I'm just going to wrap this around my hand again a bazillion times. To tie it off in the middle and double knot it. And then you cut the loops in half. And see these long pieces here? Do not cut them off. Leave one long piece on the end because that's how we're going to attach it through the loop of the bottom of the beaded garland. And I got a little scissor happy here. I don't know why. I would not trim these until we're already done, you know, hanging it or tying it onto the bottom of the beaded garland. I just kept trimming and trimming and trimming, and it's probably a good idea that I'm not a hairdresser because my client would be bald or they would have a pixie, because I don't know what I was thinking, but this was way too little. But I mean, in the end it looks good, but I just got a little scissor happy, I guess. So now you take and you fold it in half, and then you take a piece of the twine, a long piece, and then you wrap it around, I don't know, about 8 times, 8-10 times. Just keep wrapping it, wrapping it, wrapping it, and then you tie it. And I hope you can see how I just tied it off here. So there's a little tassel hanging down at the end, but that's why I said don't trim it until afterwards, because mine was just so short. I wish I would have made it longer, but that's okay. So still keep that piece on the top. As you can see, I have that little piece. And then you want to fluffy it out a little bit here. And then that loop there, that's what we're going to do. We're going to tie it onto the loop. And then when I did that, I realized there's just too much string. So I have a bazillion beads, and I grabbed a couple of the bigger ones just to hide the extra, you know, because either you'll see it on the top or the bottom, the extra string. So a couple beads there. Now it hides the string, and now I'm going to tie it on. And that's what it looks like. So now we're going to take the leaves and we are going to tie them on. You could use, again, pipe cleaner, floral wire, twisty ties. You could use zip ties, which I'm using. Or you could use raffia. I guess I'm using raffia, because then you don't really see the zip ties, and I think the raffia just gives it that kind of fall feeling. Now what I would do in this flower here, I'm going to glue that on the top by the stem. What I would do with the leaves though, I would do them around the bottom, and I would probably clip them off of the garland, because it's just easier to work with. So I would put them around the bottom, and then I would put more leaves on them, and then I would hang them down like 6 rolls from the top to the bottom. Anyway, and now just take this hanger. Also, all this stuff is from the Dollar Tree. Everything that you see in this whole entire video is from the Dollar Tree, obviously, except like the scissors and the glue gun and all that. So there are 3 chains hanging down, and just clip them on the top. And there you have it. This is a really quick, easy, simple project, and I have a hook hanging from my wood porch ceiling there, and this is what it looks like at night. And that's it. It's a little crooked, and that's because of the battery pack was pulling it down, but you can adjust that. Anyway, the next project, I'm gonna make a couple porch lanterns, and they have these at the Dollar Tree. They have the black ones and the blonde ones. You're gonna need one of these lights, which actually you really don't need, but I made one with and one without. Some ribbon that you can see through, and some batteries. And these lights, they're not fairy lights, but fairy lights would probably look really pretty. Any kind of lights I think would look really pretty. You'll need not those beads that I showed you. You'll definitely need some dowel rods, and you'll need some leaves for decoration. A glue gun, scissors, and lots of Gorilla Glue, my favorite, and maybe a cup of coffee. So you take 4 of these, and I am removing the hangers from them. And we're going to use them again, so don't cut them. I just take and poke them right back through the hole there. And see that's pretty rough. I would sand it a little bit. And then look at both sides. Usually one has a scratch or a gouge or something. That will be the inside of the lantern. The nicer side will be the outside. So I have a wood crate here to balance the lantern because I didn't know what else to use, and it was heavy and it worked really well for me. But any type of a heavy box or something square will work. So you're going to want to put the less perfect side on the inside, and you're going to want to line them up so the top, because these are from the Dollar Tree, you know they're not perfect. So the bottom is going to be more, how do I say this, in line. So if the top overhangs a little bit, that's okay, because we can always hide that with leaves and decorations, but the bottom should be pretty even with each other, all 4 pieces. So now I just run a bead of glue on the inside from the top to the bottom. And you're probably going to have to hold this for a little bit to let it dry. And if you want, you can use a more permanent glue like E6000 or wood glue. I think wood glue would probably work on this. And then I run another bead of glue down there, and I put a dowel rod in there. These are round, square might work a little bit better. Or you know, else you can do for the purpose of this video, I was kind of in a hurry, but you could probably put a dowel rod going from the top all the way down to the end. So when that's good and dry, then we're going to put the other side. So you just flip it down like that. And again, make sure you have the correct side, that's the more blemished side, that's going to be the inside of the lantern. And same thing. Just run a bead of glue there, and then make sure that the bottom is even. So all the pieces on the bottom are even, so it's not wobbly. And like I said, the top might be slightly shorter or longer than one or the other, but it's not going to matter at the end. So I put a bead of glue down there, and then let that dry, and then another bead of glue, and then put the dowel rod. It might be better to put a dowel rod on top on one and a dowel rod on the bottom on the other, or 2 pieces of the dowel rod meeting up in the middle. This piece here, I was going to make something else, and I printed out fall, F-A-L-L, on my Cricut, and I didn't have another blonde piece of wood, and I thought, you know what, that's going to look really cool. You can put home on yours, you can put fall, you can put welcome, or you can leave it plain, it's up to you, but I thought, hey, this looked kind of cool. So it was just kind of a, you know, a mistake, but it ended up being a good mistake. So now when that's dry, we're going to take the, what do you call this? The twine. And we're just going to run it through. So I'm taping off the end because obviously, as you can see, I was having a hard time getting it through that little hole there. So you're going to run it through and then up from the inside up on top. So you're only going to see the twine from the outside, and all of the pieces, the frayed pieces and whatnot will be on the inside. I hope that makes sense. And also we're going to take this, and after I realized that this is really not necessary step, save your $1.25. You don't really need one of these because we can hang the beads on the lights on the inside. But if you do want to use one of these, that's okay. These lights go in there really well, and you can just put the top on and screw it just a little bit and it actually works. So I just put the lights in there and put the top back on and put it aside. And I thought it would be really pretty to put some ribbon here so you can't really see through it, but it's covered. Like you can see through it, but you can't see, it's kind of covered. You'll see what I mean. And so this ribbon, I really love this. I think it's really pretty. It's gold on one side, but when you flip it over on the inside, it's silver. And I wanted to be able to see the leaf through the pumpkin. I think I did gold on each side and then silver on the other sides, just to give it some character, I guess. And then, you just cut it and then hot glue it on the inside. And I did it on all of the 4 sides. And then you just take your leaves. It's probably better to clip them all off individually and glue them on instead of having this, wire, running around. What I was trying to think is I could wrap the whole thing around, but I don't know. It didn't look right, and I think it would be better just to put the leaves on. Leaves and pumpkins and berries and whatnot. Easier to glue them on, and I think it looks a little cleaner too. But here I didn't do that. I just glued it on. Okay, so see the twine. And I didn't show you, and I don't know what happened to that footage, but I just strung one end to the other, and then I hung the little light on it. So that will keep the light up on top. Now here's the black one. I put it together, and then I realized that the inside of the pumpkin and the sides are not black, and that's fine. You can always touch it up and paint it, or you can leave it like this. And I have this ribbon, and I cut them, and it's just kind of a sparkly orange ribbon. I thought it was really pretty. And the same thing, I just glued it on the inside, all 4 sides. And you can use anything you want, any color. You can use vellum, you can use plastic, anything that you can kind of see the glow of the light through. And this one I'm going to decorate with the leather looking pumpkins and the leather looking leaves. I thought that these were really cool, and I love that like orange black contrast. It just screams fall to me. And that's what it looks like. And these here are the hanger that I took out. I just put them back in on all 4 sides. And then I took them on the inside and I tied them. So it makes like a little hook, like a little hanger that you can actually hang the lights in. It was kind of hard to tie them because they have the plastic things on the end, but do you see what I mean? How I tied them there on all 4 sides, and then you can take the lights and poke through like that. Anyway, this is what they look like in the daytime. That cute little pumpkin in the middle is also from the Dollar Tree. Here's what they look lit up at nighttime. And this is our third and final project. And this takes probably all of 2 minutes to put together. So you need a jar like this, the pumpkin, any pumpkin will do, but I really thought this one was pretty. Some leaves and the jute and some fairy lights. I think the fairy lights look prettiest in this one. And of course, batteries. And you just take the lid off, and you could use the lid for a base if you like. And you could put like felt on the bottom to keep it from scratching your counter. I did not do that this time, but you can do that. That's an option. And I just wrapped the jute twine around this, the top of it. And I wrapped it from the bottom or the top of the pumpkin. I wrapped it all the way up. As you can see, I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm not going to show you unraveling all this or wrapping this all around, but this is what it looks like at the end. And yes, that's my daughter's foot there. And I just left it in just to be funny for her. Anyway, this is what it looks like. And this is the fun part. It only takes a couple seconds. If you can pull these off, pull them off. If they have a wire in them, use wire clippers. Don't ruin your scissors. I have ruined my scissors. If they don't have a wire in, I'm sure it's fine to use scissors, but always cut wires with wire clippers. Anyway, I am just taking some leaves. I think I used 5 or 6. And I just put them around. You don't want them all sticking down or all sticking up. You want to kind of have some up, some sideways, some down. You know what I mean. Just to give it some personality. And I decided to put some berries and some pumpkins on. And that's what that looks like. So I have the berries and pumpkins on one side and berries and pumpkins on the other side. And then take the fairy lights, and I love these fairy lights. They're just so dainty, they're so pretty, but you can use any kind of lights that you want, that's fine. And I just smushed them down into that jar. And now you can take the battery pack and put it on the outside if you want to hide it, or you can put it on the inside and set one of those matching leaves on top of it so you can't see the inside. And that's it. And I just put that pumpkin on top, and it looks prettier in person when it's lit up. And here it is. And if you make 2 of these, you can put them as a centerpiece on your table. And that's all. Thank you for watching Homeridge Studio. Please like and subscribe, and have a wonderful fall season. Bye!